Ever had one of those days where everything feels off? Like you're surrounded by people, but totally alone? That's the vibe of Mad World by Tears for Fears, a song that digs deep into loneliness, numbness, and the weirdness of just existing. On the surface, it's got that catchy synth-driven sound, but the lyrics? They hit different. Today, we're breaking down a Mad World line by line to unpack why this 80s classic still resonates decades later. Stick around, this one's gonna get real. Verse 1 paints a bleak picture of monotony, isolation, and emotional numbness. The opening line, "All around me are familiar faces," suggests a sense of routine and repetition. People the person sees every day, yet there's no real connection. These faces are worn out, hinting at exhaustion, both physically and emotionally. The places are worn out too, as if the environment itself is drained of life, mirroring the emptiness the person feels. The next lines, "Bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere," reinforce the idea of a pointless cycle. People are busy, waking up early, rushing through their days, but ultimately getting nowhere. It's a critique of modern life, running in circles without meaning or progress. The repetition of going nowhere drives home the futility of it all. Then comes the striking image, and their tears are filling up their glasses. This could be taken literally as people drowning their sorrows in alcohol, or metaphorically as their sadness overflowing but remaining unseen, no expression. Either way, it highlights a society where pain is repressed, not shared. The person, overwhelmed, says, "Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow," suggesting despair so deep that they want to escape entirely with no hope for the future. The repetition of "no tomorrow" makes it feel final, as if time itself has lost meaning. Overall, this verse captures a world where people go through the motions, emotionally disconnected and trapped in a meaningless routine. The person observes this but also feels swallowed by it, unable to see a way out. It's a powerful commentary on alienation and the quiet sadness of everyday existence. The chorus is where the song's emotional core really hits, blending irony, despair, and a strange kind of twisted comfort. The opening lines, "And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad," set up a contradiction that runs through the whole section. The person is observing the absurdity of life, where things can be both laughable and heartbreaking at the same time. There's a dark humor in how pointless everything seems, but that humor doesn't erase the sadness. It just makes it more complicated. Then comes one of the most haunting lines in the song. "The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had." On the surface, it sounds shocking. Why would dying dreams be the best? But it speaks to a deeper feeling of numbness or even relief. If real life feels empty and exhausting, then even nightmares might feel more intense, more real than the dullness of everyday existence. It's not that the person actually wants to die. It's more that the dreams represent an escape from the mad world they're stuck in. The next lines, "I find it hard to tell you because I find it hard to take," suggest a struggle to communicate these feelings to others. The person is trapped in their own head, unable to explain their despair because it's too overwhelming to even process. And when they see people run in circles, it reinforces the idea of life as a meaningless loop, going nowhere. That's why the repeated phrase, "mad world," feels so heavy. It's not just chaotic or crazy, but deeply broken, a place where nothing makes sense and no one truly connects. The repetition of "mad world" at the end drives the point home, almost like a mantra. The more you hear it, the more it sinks in. This isn't just a passing thought, but a crushing realization. The chorus doesn't offer solutions. It just lays bare the confusion and pain of living in a world that feels both ridiculous and suffocating. It's bleak, but there's something weirdly comforting in how honestly it captures that feeling. Verse 2 shifts focus from the general numbness of society to a more personal childhood perspective, revealing how early these feelings of alienation and invisibility begin. The opening lines, children waiting for the day they feel good, happy birthday, immediately set up a sense of longing. Kids are supposed to be joyful, especially on birthdays, but instead, they're just waiting to feel good, as if happiness is something delayed or out of reach. The repetition of happy birthday feels hollow, like a forced celebration that doesn't match the emptiness inside. The next line, made to feel the way that every child should, hints at societal expectations, pressuring kids to perform happiness even when they don't feel it. There's a robotic obedience in sit and listen, as if children are being conditioned to follow rules without question, stifling their individuality. This transitions into the person's own school experience. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Here, the song taps into universal anxieties. Feeling invisible, like you don't belong, surrounded by people who don't see you. The repetition of no one knew me drives home the loneliness as if the person was a ghost in their own life. The verse ends with one of the most cutting lines. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. It's a crushing moment, reaching out for guidance only to be ignored. The teacher's indifference mirrors the wider world's apathy, reinforcing the idea that no one really cares. The repetition of look right through me makes it sting even more, as if the person isn't just unheard, but completely unnoticed, like they don't even exist. Overall, this verse digs into how these feelings of isolation and meaninglessness start young. It's not just about adult disillusionment. It's about how kids are funneled into a system that doesn't nurture them, leaving them feeling lost and unseen. The school setting, with its rigid expectations and emotional neglect, becomes a microcosm of the mad world itself, a place where people go through the motions but no one truly connects.